Alrighty, guys, you're here watching the AFL Weekly Podcast with Statchat Sports. Myself, Josh, BT, and Tazza, Steve in the twos. But that doesn't matter because we're handing it over to BT for his segment, BT's Game of the Week.
Done something a little different with choosing my game. Normally, I try and go what I think might be like the closest game or the most important game. But I'm going purely off stats because, like it says here, the stats don't lie. Statchats. So you're going with, there could have been Richmond Carlton, which is probably your go-to, which you would think Thursday night. You could have gone with
How have you not gone there?
Bulldogs.
That's ridiculous, call BT.
Because the stats don't lie, mate. The stats don't lie. I've gone with Port Adelaide versus Sydney.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Out of all the games, these are the closest on stats. And here you go. I'll throw some at you, all right? Contested possessions, 135 to 136. This is what they average. Marks, 94 apiece. Marks inside 50, 12 apiece. Contested marks, 9 to 11. Tackles, 58 apiece. Tackles inside 50, 10 apiece.
So what you're telling me is these are the two same teams?
Essentially, yeah. And that's why it's
an absolute stalemate. Yeah.
There's one stat that stands out though. 229 to 203 uncontested to Port Adelaide.
Yeah, well, see, the thing that hurts the Swans a bit is where they play. So it's a smaller ground, so it doesn't provide as much opportunity for that loose ball.
They don't really have a genuine wingman type. These guys that have on the wing, they kind of push more around towards the ball, where Taz's mate, Kane Farrell, where Spud call apparently top three kick in the comp.
That's a terrible call.
That's an absolutely terrible call.
It deserves to be called out.
Yeah.
I just watched him just balloon this absolute perler of a shot from about 55 out with just absolute ease. He's kicking it. Okay. Not a top three field kick, but just a beautiful kick of the ball. Top three, beautiful kick of the ball. How's that?
Maybe top three for Port Adelaide. The only thing worse than that call would be saying that Alex Witherden is the best kick in the competition. I mean, that's the sort of level we're talking about here.
I think I'm with Josh on that one.
Look, it was a moment of weakness, all right. I was taking little bits from that game because I had nothing to go off. So
hey, can I make a call? Can I make a call here? And we're not in bold prediction territory yet, but this is a call that I want to go out on a limb here. We've been pretty big on Sydney this year, thinking that they're a top four contender, that they're going all the way. I have not liked what I've seen in the last month, in the last 6 weeks. My call, Sydney, they're not winning a final this year.
Not winning a final, but they're making finals?
They're making finals, and they're done in week one. They're out. They are not winning.
I did my ladder prediction for the rest of the season yesterday, and I had them finishing 7th. And so that puts them coming up against Richmond. I think I had Saints at 8th. Carlton. It was Carlton I had at 6th. And they're not beating Carlton.
No. So I think Sydney's in a bit of trouble here, fellas. And the results they've had are reflective of the fact that they're a middle of the pack team. I mean, you look at who they've lost to. They have lost to Carlton, the Gold Coast, Brisbane, and the Western Bulldogs. So, and that's all been in the last 6 weeks. So that for me, they've had a couple of wins in there. They've beaten Melbourne, but that doesn't look that great anymore. So I think they're an average team.
And they only scraped across the line against North Melbourne, playing at home. Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's more they're such a young team. I don't know their average age or average games, but the players they do have, I think in the future, the next 3-4 seasons, they're going to be improving. They're still going to be there. I think that the games they have under these players, I think it's about right where they are, that 7th, 8th type spot. I think we put them maybe too high.
I think we did. Port Adelaide, we also had very high. All of us had them finishing pretty much top 4. They've been very disappointing, your mob Tazza, but they have won 5 of the last 7. Is there hope?
This is absolutely their last stand. This is it. I mean, I think it was a few years ago. No, sorry, it was 2015. We were 5-7 coming up against Sydney in round 14. It's the exact same scenario, and it didn't end well. So, yeah, I just don't think we get there. This is absolute. I can't see Port making finals. Like I said, I can't even put Richmond there at the moment, and they're 2 games ahead. I think the 8 is right about there, give or take maybe a few teams depending on what happens, and Port's out of the race. I'd almost give GWS more of a shot, and they're a game behind us.
Yeah, because they're building. They've really, with no Cameron at the helm, they've really changed their game style. A couple of quirky stats for you, because I was trying to figure out who I was going to tip in this game, because it's not a bad call, BT, because it really is a line ball game. So turns out that Sydney are Port Adelaide's second worst team to play against. They have only got a 37.5% win ratio against the Swans. That being said, they've won their last 3 against the Swans, all at Adelaide Oval. So that doesn't really help you at all if we're looking at track history.
If Port win this, and they're three games behind Sydney now, so if they win this and they're only 2 games behind, obviously we touched on the other teams. If things, obviously they have to play well. They're playing well at the moment. I'll give them that. Like, to go to the MCG and only lose by, 11 points, whatever it was, against Richmond, clearly, and they didn't even play that well. So, but these like Gold Coast, Bulldogs, Richmond, and like Tazza touched on GWS now, I just don't know. I think they need results to go their way, and they need to keep playing well for them to scrape into finals.
Fellas, tips. Tazza, you didn't sound confident, but are you going to back the boys in?
Yeah, you know what? I will. I'm not sure. I think the big Toddy Marshall's going to have a day out against this defense.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm not sure if you guys watched the game, but he was probably one of a couple of positives out of that game. And I know you give me a lot of shit for it, but he has taken his game to a different level. I'm not saying it's stratospheric levels, but I'm saying he's definitely building.
Can I put you to a challenge here, Tazza? And you may not like it, but you're wearing your brand new Indigenous jumper for Port Adelaide. Show it off.
Here we go. All its beauty.
Yeah, it looks nice. If Port Adelaide win this game and they go on to make finals, will you put Toddy Marshall's number on the back of that beautiful jumper?
150% I will. 100. I definitely will.
Yeah. What about one step further than that? Get Toddy's Marshall number tattooed on the back of you.
Like, how big?
Oh, normal size, mate. Like it's on the Guernsey.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna say like a little 50-cent coin kind of face or something. I mean, I would consider it for that, but absolutely not.
They'd probably have to win in the flag, I reckon, for that to be any chance of happening. Nice. Yeah. We'll hold you to that. Port Adelaide winning this week and making finals. Toddy Marshall on the back of the jumper. Love it. BT, who are you picking?
Yeah, I'm going Port as well. A fairly close one, I think. But yeah, I think Port at home. Straight. Simple whenever I can't decide to go with the home team.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I've actually got written on my run sheet here that I'm tipping Sydney because I think they're the better team. But I've actually changed my mind through the course of this conversation. Port Adelaide, knowing their backs are against the wall, knowing it's do or die, I think they have more to play for than Sydney. And I think they're going to get up, and I think they're going to win this, and I think that Ken is just going to keep on coaching into existence with wins like this. It just happens every time.
Yeah, this is what happens every time when everyone thinks it's his last stand. This is it. If they lose, he's gone. He pulls it out of the bag. And no, it frustrates me that whatever. It kills me.
It shits you to
That he
tears is
does
what
it
you wanted
every
to say.
shits me to tears is exactly what I wanted to say. It gives me the absolute shits. And I mean, I wasn't even thinking of that, but now that you've said it, put your house on it. They're winning, surely.
There you go. We want to hear your tips in the comments. If you're a Port fan and you're just willing for a bit more Ken madness, let us know. If you're a Swans fan and you think, geez, these blokes are just talking absolute nonsense, what are you talking about? The Swans are the better team. The Swans are going to win. We want to hear from you in the comments. Let us know how your team's going to go in this BT's Game of the Week. Up now. This is a segment that we've been waiting to do for a while. This is the mid-season review, and we're looking at our All-Australian team. Now, we've got BT, we've got Tazza, Steve in the twos for this one. What we're doing is we've all gone away separately, compiled our All-Australian teams, and now we're coming on together to debate it, to discuss it, to arrive at a consensus, fellas, the Statchat Best 22. BT, you're a big man on the stats. I know you put a lot of work into this.
Yeah, I kind of. I'm gonna lie, I didn't really put that much thought into it.
I'm trying to give you a bit of a...
Yeah, I know, but I can't go along with that.
I'm trying to give you a bit of a beat up here, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. Tazza, I know you've put the hard work in as well, so I'm sure that we're going to come together and put up a very convincing 22 here.
Yeah, mate. Look, I've put a bit of work in. I think I've done my part, and yeah, I think we're going to come up with a cracking team.
No, that's good. And don't worry about Steve. I'm pretty sure he just copy-pasted the All-Australian team from afl.com.au. So that's all good. Don't worry about that. What I've got now is a graphic on the screen, and this is the 14 players that all four of us agree on. So running from the back line of the forward line, we have got Stephen May, Sam Doherty, Doherty, however you want to pronounce it, Jack Sinclair, James Sicily, Ed Langdon, Lockie Neal, Maxi Gawn, Clayton Oliver, Andrew Brayshaw, Bailey Smith on a half-forward flank. We'll touch on that. A little bit debatable. Charlie Cameron, Jeremy Cameron, and on the bench, Callum Mills and Paddy Cripps. All four of us had them in our team. They are locked. They are in. They are done. So what we're going to do is we're going to work from back to front. We're going to fill in the missing pieces of the puzzle and come up with our full 22. All right. So, fellas, back pocket. What we're looking for here is a second tall, a third tall, an intercepting player, a tall defender, basically. Now, we've got Stephen May, we've got James Sicily, but we couldn't agree on the third. So here are our options. We've got Harris Andrews from the Brisbane Lions. He's had a pretty good season as the number one key defender for those blokes. Tom Stewart. Tom Stewart is a third tall intercept marker. He got picked in 3 of our 4 teams. And Jacob Wiedering from the Blues, he got picked in half of our teams. Tazza, if you had to pick one of those blokes, who do you like and why?
I'm going to go with my pick. I'm going to back him. Tom Stewart. I think his ability to intercept and distribute, I love it. Not necessarily noted for his one-on-one defending, but his ability to intercept and read the ball for me is as good as there is in the comp at the moment.
Completely agree. That's who I had in my team as well. Harris Andrews is overrated in my opinion, so yep, he's out of it for me. And I don't mind Wiedering, but I think Tom Stewart needs to be there.
Yeah, look, I was the only one that didn't have Tom Stewart, and that's because I had Harris Andrews, because I like his one-on-one work down there. So I've been outvoted. I've been overruled. Tom Stewart is going in, back pocket, third tall, lock it in. He's done. Half-back flank. We've got a few options here, fellas, and this one I think is going to be interesting. Callum Wilkie from the Saints. He was picked in one of our teams as a nice lockdown defender. So a nice little sneaky pick there. Jaden Short was also picked in one of our teams. So he could be playing off a half-back flank, but has also had a little bit of midfield time. And Daniel Rich, he was picked in 2 of the 4 teams, the big left foot off the half-back flank. BT, out of those 3, we need to pick one. Who do you like?
Daniel Rich. And I've got a stat for you on this one. Average 24 disposals at 84% efficiency.
Ooh.
Yep. Still quality he is. Even how many games he's played, the age of him, he's still a top quality halfback and distributor off kicking. Just that left foot is still as good as it's ever been.
Tazza, you're nodding. You're happy with this?
Yeah, that was my pick as well. I had him there. Another stat, it can be sometimes a convoluted stat, but first in meters gained coupled with his 84% efficiency rate. Why not? How can you leave him out?
Okay,
Who do you have, Josh?
I went for Callum Wilkie, and I know you hate this because you hate the Saints, but Callum Wilkie has been the best one-on-one medium lockdown defender in the comp. Now, I want to build this team to be balanced. I want to build it to play a game. And as far as I'm concerned, we've got too many rebounding halfback flankers in this team. This is not going to stand up. Who's playing on Charlie Cameron? Who's playing on him? Tell me, fellas.
Tom Stewart.
Nah, you'll get towed up. You'll get towed up. So that's
why towed up by him.
Yeah, he has.
So that's why I was really a fan to get a lockdown defender. Clearly nobody else was. No one else respects the dirty work and respects the roles, but I do, and I like it. And Callum Wilkie is hands down being the best one-on-one medium-sized defender in the competition. I don't think you fellas can disagree with that.
I just don't think it's good enough compared to the other players. Don't get me wrong, you've obviously done your research on him. I haven't. I did not even consider him at all. Yeah, it's just no one has stood out in that small to medium type defender role for me personally.
I don't mind the pick. I did consider it. He has been, I think he's been much improved, but I'm not sure he's above the rest of the guys there. But for the balance, I do rate the pick.
Not enough to pick it though.
Not over Rich, no.
Okay. So there you go. I've been outvoted. It's Daniel Rich. And if you're a Saints fan and you want to attack BT, here's your opportunity. Get into him because we love that.
Saints TV, bring it on.
Now, wingers. We are very big on picking players in their positions. There was a couple of people that put Bailey Smith on the wing and we weren't overly happy with that because it's not his spot. We've got Ed Langdon there. We've got one wing vacant. And we've got a couple of options here, fellas. Blake Acres, he was picked in two of the teams, and I didn't pick him, but I do like that pick. The other option, Jordan Dawson from the Crows, very much up there in metres gained this year, and he was the wingman that I picked in my team. But fellas, which one of you picked Blake Acres, or was it both yours?
I went with Blake Acres. I reckon he's up there. Did you as well, Taylor?
Yeah, I did. I think our
so
teams
we've
are
just
identical.
This seems like. So I think you've been outvoted here again.
Yeah, I'm fighting up your battle.
I swear we haven't come together at all.
No.
We have not talked a second about this. So
No,
we all sent our teams through privately.
It's a stitch up.
We all sent them
Yep.
through.
It's an absolute stitch up, fellas. I'm not happy with it. Tazza, tell us about Blake Acres. What have you liked about his game this year? Because he's really come out of nowhere in a new role.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the stats behind it, but judging by the eye, he passes the eye test for me. I mean, he is hitting, from what I can say, I don't have the stats in front of me, but consistently hitting good stats throughout the game. I mean, he's a big reason why Freo have really been able to reinvent themselves this season. Longmuir has just put all his time, well, not all his time and effort, but a good deal of time and effort into cementing Acres on that wing. And to me, he's one of the premier wingmen in the comp.
All right, look, I'm happy to concede again. This is 3 from 3 here. I've been outvoted. I'm going to need to get one of my blokes in the team at some point. I think it's going to be the forward line. So Blake Acres onto a wing. Aside from that, the midfield, we're pretty much in agreement on. So I think everybody's got the same mix of blokes through there. So we're pretty happy. Forward line, half forward flank. Now, fellas, we need to get a consensus on this. We've got Bailey Smith here now. Now, that's a little bit of a speculative pick because we don't like picking midfielders not in their position here. So let's make sure our other half forward flank is a genuine forward or plays on that half forward flank. And I've got a few options to consider here, fellas. Zach Bailey from the Lions. He was picked in half of the teams. 27 goals so far through the year. He's been very good. Another Bailey Fritsch from Melbourne. He was also picked in half the teams. And Shai Bolton also getting a mention. Again, a guy that's been in the midfield, but he's spent a lot of time forward. So, Tazza, is there a man out of that lot that you like for the half-forward flank?
Look, Zach Bailey was my pick. I think he drifts into the middle. Obviously, Brisbane's midfield is quite fluent at the moment. I mean, Rayner gets a run. You got McCluggage, Sorko, Neal. It lines it all. It's very fluent. But he's chipping in with a lot of goals. I think he's high 20s at the moment. He might be 28, 29.
Yeah, 27 I thought he had, but he's certainly one of the best non-key forwards.
Absolutely. And the fact that I think he's averaging about 18 disposals a game. So couple that with his average of goals, I think it's a pretty tidy return. And the fact he's forward, the half forward is about where he'd sit.
BT, you happy with this? Because I had him in my team, so that means that you didn't.
Nah, I had Fritsch in this one. Purely, this was the one where I was tossing up between. I don't mind Zach Bailey, so I can go with that. The only thing, because we have Bailey Smith on the other half-forward flank, he's that guy who pushes up as that extra midfielder for me. And then you have like a Doherty who pushes up from the half-back as an extra midfielder, as a defensive midfielder. So having Fritsch as more of that start-home half-forward type, that's why I went with Fritsch.
Okay, well, I think we lock in Zach Bailey here. We have got a few other spots for forwards. We've got a few other spots.
Not accepting it.
Been outvoted, BT.
Protest.
So Zach Bailey on the half-forward flank. We've got a few other forward spots, so we might say Fritsch on the field or maybe on the bench. But let's go to the second key forward. The only key forward that we all agreed on was Jeremy Cameron, so he's locked in at full forward. Now, in terms of the key forward stakes, we've got a few decisions to make. First one is, do we just go with two big gorillas or do we pick a third? And then the next question becomes, who do we pick? So the options we've got, Max King, he was voted in 3 of the 4 teams. Charlie Curnow was voted in 3 of the 4 teams. And the Tomahawk, he was in 2 of the 4 teams. So, fellas, the first question is, are we going top heavy? Are we going 3 big, tall forwards? And are they all on the field?
I think we have to. I think the key forwards have been pretty dominant this season. Other than Charlie Cameron as your small forward, there hasn't really been anyone else other than these key forwards. So, me, I had Charlie Curnow, and then I was tossing up between King and Hawkins, and I went with King because I don't like Hawkins. That's the only reason.
Exactly the same as me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I had the Tomahawk, and here's the reason why. Because I don't have a second ruck, because I don't think there's a second ruck that's deserving of a place in the team. And Tomahawk gives me the best sort of, pinch hitting in the ruck option there is. But that's why I went the Tomahawk, and the fact that he's been really good this year as well.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think ruckmen are overrated, to be honest with you. So look at Port Adelaide playing Finlayson as a ruck on the weekend just gone. Yeah, and they nearly got a win. So
Port Adelaide's given up on their season, haven't they, Tazza?
Yeah, I think they have. I mean, the CEO's come out and said Ken's contracted to 2023, and that put a dagger through my heart. But yeah, I think it's a foregone conclusion that they're not making the 8, basically, and it's give the young kids a go. For me.
Right, well, let's not get sidetracked by Port Adelaide because they're nowhere near this team. Let's sort out this ruck situation first, because I think this is going to dictate a fair bit. Are we going a second ruck, or are we going no second ruck? Because I think if we just go the one ruck, then we need a key forward that can pinch hit, in my opinion.
Charlie Curnow's played ruck in the past, but I can. Who plays? Surely Tomahawk doesn't go into the centre though.
No.
Plays a second ruck.
No, Maxi just doesn't go past halfway and just lets Tomahawk take anything that's in the forward.
Yes, I just don't think that matters, to be honest with you. I don't think it matters who's in the ruck when it's inside forward 50.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay, so in your opinion then, we're having Charlie Curnow and Max King starting in our final 2 spots in the forward line on the field. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're going with.
And no second ruck.
No second ruck.
We might get exposed here, but I like it. All right, very good. Forward line is locked in. We've got 2 spots left. We've got 2 midfielders on the bench. Do you think we should have an extra defender and an extra forward? Is that the balance here? Because I don't want just a midfield bench. I mean, that's just boring. We're not here for that.
All right. Yeah, we can do that. We'll do that.
Do we go your man Bailey Fritsch? Do we give him a Guernsey BT on the bench?
I think we have to. Obviously we can't go for another key forward. So I can't think of any other forward we would do. And we're not playing one of those midfield forwards as well, because we've already got Bailey Smith there.
Taz, are you happy with this? Bailey Fritsch?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and it gives you, if you want to play it a bit differently with the structure, I think he's a good point of difference.
All right. So if we're going with one final defender, can we go with my man Callum Wilkie? Does he sneak in, or do you want to go someone else?
Do we need someone who's better one-on-one? And do we chuck in a Wiedering? And does he make the bench, or
pretty top
does it come
heavy
down
then?
to Wiedering?
I just don't
I
want
had
to be too top
Wiedering in
heavy.
my starting 22. I had Wiedering there.
He didn't get in mine, but I don't know how you leave out Wiedering for Wilkie.
I think the backline's too top heavy. I mean, you'd have Stephen May, Sicily, Tom Stewart, and Wiedering. That's a very tall backline.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't
depending on
think
what
it is.
team you're coming up against.
Yeah, I think Doherty's he's not short of a bit of pace. May and Stewart are your pillars, and then you've got Sinclair, Sicily, and Rich. There's plenty of pace there. I don't think you're too tall. I think you can afford one more.
You want him.
Why outvoted again?
I think so. You're not getting your boy Wilkie in there.
No, it looks like I've been shafted. So we're going tall on the bench. Jacob Wiedering. Maybe Jacob Wiedering can play some ruck. Why not?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Got enough tools.
Throw him in the mix. Why not? There you go. So that's our best 22. That's the Statchat 22. We've done it, fellas. That's our All-Australian team. It's on the screen right now. I think it's right up there. I think it's going to do some damage. I think it's a one Callum Wilkie away from being an absolute top-notch lineup. But you can't have it all.
I don't think it's the Statchat All-Australian. I think it's Tasman BT's 22.
That's what it seems
So you
like.
didn't really get much of a shout there. You were just outnumbered the whole way.
I got Zach Bailey, and that's it. But I think Zach Bailey was getting it regardless. So
Yeah.
I've been shafted, but that's okay. It's the Tasman BT show. That's what we do here. That's what we like to see. It's a good team. But in the comments, we want some feedback from our Statchat audience. If you disagree with some of the picks, if you're a Saints fan and you're a Callum Wilkie, if you're in the fan club for the man, let us know in the comments, because he deserves a spot in the team, in my opinion. And I would like a little bit of backup, but we're happy for all sorts of opinions. So let us know in the comments what you think of the Statchat mid-season All-Australian team. And by the way, this is not it for our mid-season reviews. We have got a jam-packed edition of the Statchat podcast next week. We're going to be reviewing all of our pre-season predictions and who we thought was going to go well and all the terrible calls that we've made. So this is just the beginning. So there's lots of mid-season review content coming out for the Statchat crew. So make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all the content that we're going to be putting out. All right, fellas, it is time. Our favourite segment, your favourite segment, bowl predictions. Now, this is an interesting week this week, fellas. Steve is the man that usually runs the bowl predictions, and this week he is in the twos. And this, fellas, creates opportunity, because his spot has been in jeopardy, I think, for the last few weeks. BT, you're laughing. You know it. You can sense this is time to jump in for the mantle of the bowl predictions master.
One of us need to get it right this week, and then he's gone. He's out of here. Melbourne losing 3 times in a row now. He's got no leg to stand on.
Yeah, he's fallen off his perch. Yeah, so I think we need a big week this week. What I will do is I will announce Steve's bold prediction, and I'll tell you what, it is slack. He is really losing his mantle here, because he's basically done a carbon copy of his pick from last week. Last week he said all the animals were going to win. They didn't, clearly. It was never going to happen. This week he said all the home teams are going to win. I mean, we need a little bit of originality here, Steve. I know Steve's going to be watching this. Steve, mate, you need a lift. You need a big lift. Tazza, let's go to you first. Bold prediction time. You missed last week. You weren't here. So looking for a big bounce back from you.
Look, I'm going for the low-hanging fruit here. I'm going to go for Cats against the Eagles. One of us every week has to take a game against the Eagles because it's the juiciest and the most goals get scored. And I'm going for it because I'm first in. I think 15 goals between Cameron and Hawkins.
15.
There is
unreal.
I think 8 and 7 to Hawkins and Cameron. Is it that crazy?
I mean,
Yes.
it's pretty crazy.
It's
I don't
bold.
think anyone's kicked 15 on the Eagles as a duo this year.
But is there a 1-2 duo like Cameron and Hawkins? Well, I'm talking myself out of a bold prediction here. What am I doing?
Don't
I'm
talk
trying to make
yourself
it
out
sound
of it.
reasonable.
They're both in our mid-year All-Australian team. They're both in exceptional form, but Barrass and McGovern both should be playing this week as well. So it's not as if the Eagles are going to be, rolling out the spuds onto them. So, there might be a little bit of difficulty in that, BT. You happy with it?
I'm happy with it because that's a shit ton of goals. I don't think it's going to happen because it's going to be a wet weather game. So,
Of course, yes.
So, and I'll segue that because that leads into my bold prediction.
Here we go.
Same game. I've gone with Geelong to hit 200 contested possessions.
Oh, my goodness.
All right.
It's
Has
only
that
happened
ever
four
happened?
times. 4 times. The record was 213.
When was the last time? Do you know?
Oh, 2013, I think it was. I can't remember the team. I think it was Brisbane was involved, though. Brisbane
Okay.
and Adelaide, maybe. I can't remember off the top of my head.
We will put that somewhere on this video. We'll find out the stat for you. We'll put it there. Nice, BT. That is a bold prediction. I like that. That's very good.
Tazza obviously didn't do enough research on the weather.
Nope.
Oh,
Put too
you-
much into my old Aussie
Contested
team.
We love talking
yeah.
about conditions here. So yes, you've got to be researching the conditions. It's a non-negotiable.
All right. What about you, Joshy? What have you got?
All right. Well, I've gone a little bit creative here, and I hope you like it because it's got some really quirky stats. I love some good quirky stats in a bold prediction. So this is a bit of a two-parter, and as each of them stand alone are not bold, but I'm hoping that together that you find them bold. So first one. Gold Coast, Adelaide. This is where we're looking. This, for me, is an absolute cracker of a matchup. This is going to be a really close game. Gold Coast, coming off the bye, have only won once. And that was in 2014. It was against the Saints. It was a 38-point win. Okay? Hold that there. Tex Walker coming up against the Gold Coast. They are his favourite team to play. He averages 3.5 goals a game against the Suns. Has never been held goalless against the Suns. He loves playing against them. He just has a day out. So I'm going with the opposite for both of them. Tex is going to be goalless against the Suns, and the Suns are going to win coming off the bye by 39 points or more. So it'll be bigger than that win that they had coming off the bye back in 2014. A little bit of a combo, a little bit of multi there, fellas. You happy with that?
Yeah. I think I'm happy with that. Tex go goalless. Who are we going? Sam Collins, I'm assuming we'll play on him.
Yes.
That'll go.
Stiff not to make our All-Australian team. He's been very good.
That, no word of a lie, was my bold prediction before I looked at the Geelong game. I think that's a great one. I like it. I think the Tex, it's a different Gold Coast we're looking at.
Yeah,
So,
we were copping a bit of flack in last week's video for our Gold Coast love. Granted, Collingwood did show us up, but Gold Coast, I still think is a sneaky finals contender. I don't know what it is. I just like their draw. They're a good chance.
Yeah, for sure. I think, I don't know if that's, I'm kind of hesitant to be honest with you now. Now that I'm thinking about that bold prediction.
Oh, hey, you've paid it. You've already paid it. I mean, come on, you can't back up.
Yeah, but the 39 points, I think Gold Coast is clearly a way better side than Adelaide, and they're playing at home. So I don't know if that's enough points, in my opinion.
It's
Obviously,
sluggish.
Tex going gold.
Sluggish coming off the bye, BT. I mean, come on now. You gotta go with the stats here.
Yeah, maybe if they're like a 30-year old team or whenever, like, you know what I mean? New team, and when the first few, they've been shithouse. Let's be real. They've been shithouse the whole time they've been in the AFL. So,
yeah, they have.
I think, okay. Obviously, I'm not making the final decision, but I think it's borderline, and I don't want Stephen to be running this segment anymore, so I'll pay it.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. No, I like it too.
Thanks, fellas.
I'll give it to you there.
Yes, thank you. I like that. Very good. And we are getting some bold predictions as well in the comments. Sports Nut's been coming week after week. They've been getting worse and worse every week. So clearly you're getting on board with the traditions of the Statchat. And by the way, Sports Nut, hit us up. Still need to give you a T-shirt for winning our competition as well. So hit us up, email, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. We'll get in touch with you. But on that, let us know what your bold predictions are. The bolder, the better. And if you pick one up, you never know. You might find yourself running this segment in a couple of weeks' time, because clearly we've got no idea what we're talking about. We're an absolute rabble. Fellas, this has been a very nice edition of the Statchat Sports Podcast. I'm not saying it's because Steve wasn't here, but he needs to lift if he's coming back from the twos next week. Tazza, good to have you back, mate. Nice work on the pod. BT, very nice work as always. Thanks very much for watching the show. Make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest stuff that we're putting out. You might have seen we've got some new FIFA content coming out in the next couple of weeks. So make sure you subscribe if you want to keep up to date with that. But of course, we're putting out footy content, multiple videos each and every week of the AFL season. So if you're liking that, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like it so that we know that you're enjoying our content. All righty. We'll see you in the next video. Cheers.